for something high, but it's a mountain that you find. He's the king, that's demon with that ice big smile. His music fills your feathers as you feel your patches fly. With the mustache man on the carpet of his van, you can see your fatty tissues giving way to sweaty hands, and the wolf is big distorting.
All right. So now it's fun drive time here at CHLY. So this is the Barley Show, and it's also Fun Drive Barley Show. But as I do every week, I have guests in the studio, and the first one. I've got two guests today. It's very exciting. I've also got a whole bunch of music from people from guests that have been on the show before, which I'm very excited about. And so for those of you guys who maybe haven't listened and are hearing my voice for the first time, congratulations. That's the first thing I have to say. And the second is that usually how the show works is I'll bring in a guest involved in the arts in BC or anywhere, really. And today is not going to be any exception. I have a comedian here, a real live comedian from, he's trying to find him, from Port Alberni, which is where I come from. I come down every week to do this from Port. And so everybody, this is Paul Alexander. Paul, how are you doing?
Hello, Mr. Brendan. First of all, I would like to give you some change, because I know you're doing a fundraiser.
Yes.
Yeah. A little bit of money. Let's see. There is a toonie for you, my friend.
Oh, well, thanks very much. Let's all hear it for Paul for his toonie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Paul, very much. So you sound a little bit older than the last time I saw you.
Well, I was coming in here, Mr. Brendan. I was driving and I saw the logging trucks, the big trucks coming into Cameron Lake. I thought I was going to be late, but, I like to go in my little scooter that I have, and I like to cut off the logging trucks really fast, because I think those guys, they like that when you do that to them, right?
They do. They love it when you cut them off, absolutely.
I give them the finger like that,
Yeah.
And I think it kind of makes them awake. Because I know I used to be a faller. I was a faller a long time ago. I used to climb up the trees. And when I got to the very top, I could eat my lunch. I like to sway back and forth on the trees. And, that I'd be quiet up there, Mr. Brendan. I'd be quiet, and it was nice. And I could do things when I was alone up in the tree there. And the foreman saw me one day and told me to come down. I cut it out, and he fired me. But I got to know myself that way, and I logged with my teeth back in the day. That's why in the old pictures, Mr. Brendan, nobody's smiling. we used to take the old growth and we used to eat them. We didn't use saws.
It's become a much lazier...
They don't know how to work anymore. We used to eat those trees. And they have a buffer of the trees. The Island Timberland Company has the buffer of the trees on the highways. But I know just another 30 feet, Mr. Brendan.
Well, what you can't see, everyone who's listening, is your jaw is enormous from all of that work, and that's why your voice sounds the way it does.
I can actually put my mouth all the way around one of those saws. But, oh, boy.
That sounded like it was a little hard on you.
Yeah, that's a hard voice to keep going. Because he's like a 9-year-old guy there.
It did take you 40 years to drive from Port Alberni to here on your scooter. So, Paul, you've been on the show before, but so unless someone is listening to all of the podcasts, they might not have heard you before. So, just talk a little bit about who you are and.
I love Port Alberni. I'm actually going to go to the mayor of Port Alberni. I want him to change the name of the town.
To what?
I think it would be great if we changed the name to Too Much Alcohol.
Yeah, it does. It would probably.
I think it's going to get us on the map. They actually have an orange bridge there. And when I first moved to town 3 years ago, they gave me directions to turn right at the orange bridge. But it's actually painted gray. And everyone in Port Alberni knows that that's the color, but they still call it the Orange Bridge. It goes way back in decades ago or whatever. And I was thinking, well, what kind of town would do something like that? Too much alcohol. Right? And I think it would put us on the map. They could go to the visitor center. You know, the guy that greets everybody could be laying on the rug with chocolate in his hair. You know, he could say, "Hey, you know, welcome to Too Much Alcohol. We got a steam train here." And there was an ad in the local papers, the AV Times, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the Pennyworth, but it was an actual ad for home hardware, and it said, "Ladies' Night at Home Hardware." What would go on at something like that? Any ideas, anybody? Are they having fun with a paint stripper, or? And there's another dude in town named Pete, he's a butcher, I guess.
You got to come closer to the. Yeah.
He's got the. Is that close enough?
Yes, that's perfect.
And he's got a butcher shop in an old, where it used to be the post office, a historical building, Pete's Meat. And he had an ad that said, "Nobody beats Pete's Meat." I thought, I'm starting to like this town, but then maybe he was the entertainment at the home hardware. And the first night I got there, I stayed at a place called the Blue Bird Motel. I think it's down there on 3rd.
Yeah.
That is a fun place. I called, like, in the middle of the morning, and I was like, I got a leak in my sink. And the guy at the desk said, "Go right ahead, sir." So I was like, okay. Too much alcohol. Yeah, but I guess I'd rather live in a place called Too Much Alcohol than a place called Not Enough Alcohol. Thank you. 2 shows Saturday. Okay. But you're doing stand-up now, too, around...
Every once in a while, I try and get up. There's a shockingly low number of open mics that aren't music-based open mics, so it's a little bit...
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do comedy in a venue that isn't designed for comedy. And there's a lot of, like, pubs, I guess you could call them, or bars, and doing pubs and bars is a different scene. Like, if you have to step over somebody in order to get to the stage, probably not a good gig, you know? I was at this one place. I think it used to be called Creakers, but they may have changed the name of it now. And I pulled up. I'd rehearsed some acoustic songs and was all happy with my little Kumbaya numbers that I had. And I was about to go in the door, and these guys just stumbled out of the place, screaming and shouting. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And my friend that used to do the show there told me that the guy was really upset that he was playing music because they turned the hockey game off. You know? Yeah, so doing comedy with like a big plasma screen behind you and kickboxing match is tough, you know?
Yeah, that's never fun at all. And you brought your guitar, speaking of acoustic things.
That's a guitar?
That is a guitar. So if you wanted to see if you knew how to play it, that would be...
I might remember.
I just hand it to all the guests, even the ones that don't play music. It's here all the time.
This is the Barley guy... the guitar that you just have laying around?
Yeah, I like to just bring it. So this is something that happens a lot on the show. Is I have a lot of live performances in here in studio, which is always a lot of fun. And this is the first time I've had a comedian perform anything in here. So this is I'm simultaneously nervous and excited to have you here.
Okay, great. Well, I tried this out at that pub that night, actually, sure. This song. And there was... I went in there and, like, everybody was wearing Halloween masks.
Okay.
And then I realized that after I was in there for a while that nobody was wearing Halloween masks. And, you know, and there was, like, a giant with, like, human skulls for a belt, and he was playing pool, and I'm, like, looking up, and there was a very flexible horned snake sitting right in front of me.
Sure, yeah.
And she had a Bud Light T-shirt on, and she was like, she screamed at me, "You're a sad man." I was like, okay, well, here's my song. I'm just here to sing love songs. Well, like, I'm a comic, so I'm not even going to pretend that I'm a musician. But, so these are really stories, and this was, I guess, kind of based on where I live now, on the port scene. We'll see if I can get through it. It's like 2.5 minutes. You
sure.
know? Might get to 50 seconds, might get to a minute. But, I made a few mistakes. I'm wanted in about 20 states. So I got me a house on wheels. That's what happens when you like to steal. Under my home, tires got wear and tear. Hard to catch a man who's everywhere. Police want their money, but it's all been spent. Better call 800 RV rent. Buy me, the signs all say, put your money down, you can drive away. Ain't no place that you can't go in your near new low-cost motorhome. Motorhome. I got me a near new motorhome. Got a cigarette in my hand on the wheel. Toilet seats next to where I eat my meal. I found a park, all the homes look like mine. Everyone's drinking Lucky outside. All the barbecues are side by side. I think it's where the thieves go after their crimes. Buy me, the signs all say, put your money down, you can drive away. Ain't no place that you can't go in your near new low-cost motorhome. Motorhome. Hey, I got me a near new all my friends have camouflage and they look mean. With showers so small, how do they get clean? Adventure, Fiesta, Chevy Class C. Do something wrong, come and join me. Do something wrong and come and join me. Do something wrong and come and join me. Buy me, the signs all say, put your money down, you can drive away. Ain't no place that you can't go in your near new low-cost motorhome. Brand new experience for me, you know. All the RVing up here, it's quite popular.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm going to play a song here and then go and check on the status of my vehicle. This is a band from Port Alberni, and this is it.